Is humanity evil? It's a simple yes-no question, but in practice it's not a question that can be given an answer. Good, evil, justice, morals, all of these things are fluid, as all of these things are subjective. These are terms we humans created. Nature doesn't have evil or kindness. Organisms have two functions in life: to survive and spread their genes. So in one respect, it can be said that organisms only need to do two things: fight to survive and to reproduce. And funny enough, when the evils of humanity are explored in fiction, it is usually personified by violence and sexual actions. But aren't these two things the most basic of biological concepts, if all we are meant to do is fight to survive and to reproduce? When humans gained higher intelligence, we created customs, and as such set the norm for how people should act and think. What these first humans saw as wrong was deemed evil, and what they saw as right was deemed good and kind. Our views of what is right and what is wrong is dependent on society, customs, and what we value as individuals. So to answer if humanity is evil, we must explore what are the things humans declare as evil. And in fiction, this is a concept that has been explored to no end. However, as this is an anime channel, I will today discuss how humanity is presented in several series and how this relates to the deeper question of the true nature of humanity and the human condition. The Chimera ants in Hunter are creatures which take the best parts of other organisms and use them to create stronger offspring. The king Meruem was the crowning accomplishment of his species, a perfect being destined to rule the world. He was stronger than any other character in the series, was incredibly smart, and had all the makings of a supreme ruler of the entire world. However, his great strength and his great intelligence were a trait passed on to him by humanity. The Chimera ants' downfall was a direct result of humans being used to create them. The ants gained a sense of individuality due to humans and left their queen's side. The ants gained compassion for others and began to explore the physical indulgences of the world. Meruem's failings as a king came down to his compassion. He became too human and not enough ant. His human parts gave him the ability to feel compassion. He learned to care for another, and in his last moments did not care about being a king, he cared about being by the side of the one he loved. In this way, it was human nature that changed the monstrous unfeeling ants into caring people, but Hunter's view of humanity is not so bright. In the same arc, the human caste, those who see the ants as monsters, became driven to do things that were far more deserving of the title of monster. Hunter as a whole is a series exploring humanity. Humans do what they must to survive, be it kind or evil. In the right situation, even a cheery young boy can give all he has in the name of violence and revenge, and an all-powerful ant can choose to spend his last moments playing gungi with the girl he loves. So in the view of Togashi, humanity is a fluid thing, capable of both great kindness and great evil, with the only thing determining which side of the spectrum a person lands on being the situation and their circumstance. Berserk is another series rooted in the themes of humanity. Guts, the protagonist of the series, had been fueled at times by both unending hatred and the kindest of love. The apostles he fights are the personification of human desire. Each of the apostles was once a human who gave up their humanity for power and a demonic form. However, this isn't true. The Slug Count, a person who had seemingly given up their humanity, still put the life of his daughter above his own. He still had kindness in his heart. As well, the only reason he became an apostle was due to the anger he felt at being betrayed by his wife. In a way, it was love and heartbreak that triggered his transformation. And if one apostle can show kindness, why can't others? The apostles do whatever they want. They fulfill their desires and wants without fear of prosecution or discrimination from others or society. They are in a sense the most free of all people, given the reins to their own life to do whatever they want. And although this often takes the form of sex and violence, as I said before, aren't these just fundamental causes to all of Earth's creatures? Guts has committed sins just as grave as many apostles, but unlike them is not free. He is a struggler, struggling against his sins, against his desire for revenge. However, he overcomes these feelings in return for devoting his soul and being to his love for Casca. Guts suffers, he kills, he commits acts of both violence and love. He can neither be defined as good nor evil with conventional morals, because he is the truest form of humanity. He is a human who gives in to both desires of hate but also of love. If the apostles are given full reign to indulge in the pleasantries of humanity, then Guts is a person constrained by both the evils and good of humanity. The world of Berserk is a horrible one, the worst of humanity, but even so, people, be they apostles or strugglers, can still feel love. There is no clear right and wrong in Berserk. Like Hunter, it's a world of survival. There is no right and wrong in Berserk, there is just what humanity deems as right and wrong. A more hopeful view of humanity is given in the Magi series, where the main threat to the protagonist and the world is the idea of depravity, of people giving in to the dark side. but as revealed later in the series, it's not so black and white, as there are people who would fall into depravity but still hold to their ideals of a better world. In Magi, even the darkest aspects of humanity can be used for good, as everything lacks meaning and a sense of morals until humans define it as such. Depravity was labelled as evil, but when used for good was no longer something that could be defined as evil. However, the most cynical views of humanity and the true human nature comes from a series I adore, Devilman Crybaby. In all the examples I've discussed before, the goods of humanity breached out from between the darkness. In these other series, humanity was grey, either neither good nor bad, or a combination of the two. However, Devilman Crybaby does not take this approach. As in this series, even the apparent right and good actions of humanity lead to nothing but pain, suffering and hate. The message Devilman Crybaby relays is quite profound, and one of the reasons I love the show to the extent that I do. The first episode shows the two sides of good and evil. We see Akira stand up to protect others, but we also see a party of drugs, sex and violence, the classical worst traits of humanity. And throughout the series, these two sides are maintained. The demons are evil, violent and sexual creatures, and Akira, a demon with a human heart, saves others acting out of kindness and an unending love for humanity. But then, when the existence of demons is revealed, humans become even worse than the demons. The demons flee in fear of the humans, just trying to survive, whereas the humans mercilessly hunt them down. They kill each other, indulging in violence and discrimination for no other reason than they can. The humans Akira loved turned into the demons he hated. However, a human heart prevails against evil, and Akira appealed to the humans, leading to this touching scene where for a moment, Akira appeared to have broken through the evils and restored the good in humans, only to be attacked and betrayed by a fellow Devilman. Even those demons with human hearts were no different. Demons, humans, Devilmen, they were all violent and hateful and evil. In the end, it took Akira seeing the woman he loved sliced up and skewered on spears in front of his eyes to make him finally give in to the hate as well, killing the evil humans with the flames of hell. The final battle is not one of ideals, not one of good versus evil. Humanity is done for, as is the demons. No peace would ever be achieved. Akira and Ryo had become strangely similar by the end of the series, both fighting with no regard for their allies' lives for a world that was already dead and destroyed. The ending of the series is one of the most profound and incredible endings I have ever seen. Akira, a demon with a human heart, had spent his last moments fighting out of hate. The humans he loved were gone, replaced by nothing but hate and primal desires to commit violent acts. I mean, these lines really say it all. Ryo, on the other hand, finally felt emotion. He cried at death for his friend. Again, these lines really say it all.
教えろ。なんだ、アキラ。今の俺の気持ちを感じてくれ。なんか答えろ。今まで俺と一緒にいたことを忘れるな。何か言え。やだよ、アキラ。俺を一人ぼっちにするな。置いていくな。どこかにいてくれ。何か言ってくれ。アキラ。
He felt emotion, cared for another for the first time ever, but he was now alone. He didn't realise he cared till Akira was gone, and with everyone gone he could no longer express these newfound feelings of care. He was alone on a world, being smited down by God. He had lost everything, but only after losing it did he realise how much he cared for it all. It's a tragic ending with no winners, only losers. If we follow the narrative that Devilman is presenting, then humanity is a tragedy by concept. We as a species are doomed to fail due to our desire to hurt and turn on others. If what Devilman says is true, then all it would take is one thing to make us all turn on each other and for the true evils all humans possess to be revealed. Even the kindest of people, Akira, gave in to hate and violence in the end. He could no longer see humans as any different from demons and wanted nothing more than to stop Ryo with violence, even though the humans he wished to protect were already doomed. He saw everyone and everything as evil. Which may be true. Evil is a subjective concept, and as such everything and everyone in someone's eyes is at least a little bit evil. As whether humans are evil or not, well, that's a question for you to answer yourself with your own subjective judgment. Do you see humans as creatures that when push comes to shove will cast aside their kindness and indulge in evils, or do you see humans as great creatures capable of both great kindness and great evils? The idea is infinitely intriguing to me and is one of my favourite concepts to explore in fiction. Of course, many other series, both anime and not, have tackled this idea, so I ask that if you have any other interpretations of humanity, then please comment down below, I'd love to hear them. Comment of the week comes from Alex LP with this beefy ass comment that really summarised Aqua's character in a brilliant way. If you have any opinions on this topic or any of the series we discussed today, then tell me in the comment section below, and if you have a suggestion for a future video, then again the comment section is funny enough down below. Also don't forget to check out my Twitter at SethDS for channel updates and just general chatter, and you can always DM me if you want to speak directly. Or my Instagram at SethTheSin_cosplay to see my cosplays or random anime merchandise. So with all that said and done, I have been Seth the Sin, the Deadly Sin of Geek, and I am signing out. Stay safe everyone.